Michael, thanks for being here today. I'm so excited to do a quick interview and ask you the thoughts. I want to know the feelings, the emotions that came out when you were thinking to create this group for the Latinos, Latino Millionaire Circle.
This is something that has been such a passion for me. And for me, look, it's like this is a culmination of a lot of what I've done in my career. But here's the part of it that actually annoys me a bit. The idea that the word Latino and millionaire just don't go together. The idea that that URL was actually available actually really annoyed me because it was the fact that it shouldn't be. We do not give enough value to our own community and what we have done and what we do. And we have a really bad relationship with money and finances and things like this. So this was to me a passion project, something to really come together, to really make this aspirational, to bring those leaders that have already done and succeeded in various actually sectors, to really bring them as mentors to the next generation, the next group of Latinos, and hopefully together change a generation of our community so that the next generation doesn't want to think about what does that mean of a Latino millionaire, because it's going to be commonplace in our community.
Love that. Michael, thank you for actually making time for allowing me to ask you these questions.
Yeah.
I know that I want to make sure that all the followers, everyone who's becoming a member of our group, understands the passion behind this, that is more than just a Facebook group. We want to make this as impactful as possible. So I thank you deeply from my heart for making the time for this. And I'm looking forward to sharing with the world the thoughts and the emotions that you have about this group.
First of all, thank you and your team for everything that you do behind the scenes to sort of get the message out to everyone. You and I have known each other a very long time, and it was something that, to me, you know what my passion has been. We've known each other about a decade, and so this is really a culmination of a lot of things.
Love the Michael. So you already touched base on this, and thank you. But what was the original purpose behind creating this group?
That was it. It was the idea that look, I've had a lot of success in my career in both banking and real estate. At the age of 25, I was the first Latino director of Deutsche Bank in the United States. And, most recently, I was one of the only few C-suite executives of a publicly traded real estate company. At the moment, I'm only one of two Latino CEOs in the real estate brokerage space. I should not be the first Latino anything at this point in age and where we are and what we do and who we are as a community. Do you realize that the Latino population stands for over 30% of the GDP in the United States? That is a powerful force. Our spending power is $4.1 trillion. If we were a country, we would be the fifth largest country. This is crazy that we are not united to really have the power that we do in circles and in silos together. Imagine if that $4.1 trillion spending was united and unified.
Yep. Imagine the possibilities of all of us coming together. And that's what we're going to accomplish with this group. And hopefully, we're getting there step by step. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Even the idea that we've launched this very, very recently, and there were 2,000 people that found us organically. We really haven't done a lot of publicity on this. This is something where it shows that there's a space in this that people are wanting. They're starving for this type of information. Everything that we're doing, you don't know that you can do something until you see somebody else achieve it, right? For 60 years, nobody could actually break a 5-minute mile. And then the moment somebody did, it was less than a year before that record was broken. You just need to show that it can be done. Once you show someone it can be done, that veil of I can't do this disappears because the evidence is right in front of you. That's what I want to do with this group, with this page, with this community, is show the evidence to everyone, because then you start changing. I can't do that. It's not been done before.
That's amazing. And I think that's why also we're trying to bring all of these great leaders to our page, to our group, to make sure everybody can see that it's possible, that you can start from anything and anywhere, and you can be anywhere you wanna be, anywhere and you focus to be. So With that great journey you've had, Michael, how does the Latino Millionaire Circle reflect your own journey and values?
Listen, this is again, I wish that there were more Latinos that were in my sectors of banking and real estate when I was your age and younger, right? When I was doing it, there was no one. There was no one that I saw in that Latino space, right? It was very, very, very limited. When I was in banking, I remember there were two Latino CEOs, Kellogg's Company and Coca-Cola, and huge companies. And I sought them out. I actually wrote to them and they actually wrote back. And that to me was an incredible thing for me as a very young banker in my 20s, that there was a connection with another business leader because I needed to seek out somebody to prove to myself, yes, it can be done. And that was enough for me, right? It wasn't like they served as my mentor. I wish they had. But it was just enough for me to have that proof of it can be done and it has been done. And so that to me was a very powerful statement for me. And so now it's actually, we've gone backwards. Now there's fewer Latino CEOs of a Fortune 500 company. And so we've actually gone backwards. And so when you look at this over the last 30 years, it is what is it that's happened? We've gone stronger as a buying group and community, but the infiltration of the top leadership in different sectors has actually diminished.
That's interesting that you mentioned that. So, because you already basically answered my next question was going to be, what gap did you see in the Latino entrepreneur space that you wanted to fill? And that's exactly what you're telling me right now.
But there's also more than that, because it's also the fact that, look, our proof of concept would be in the Latino community, J-Lo, Sofia Vergara, right? It's sort of like, it's the people that are before us that are in our ecosystem on a daily basis. And we know that they're super wealthy, but that's not what our norm is, right? There's very few little girls that are going to grow up to be J-Lo. I hope there's a ton of them, but there's very few, and that's the reality. But here's that gap is that we don't see. We don't see the neighbor down the street that came here from Costa Rica and now has an exterminating company that's worth $15 million. We don't see the maid that came in from Mexico that now actually has an entrepreneurial company that employs other maids that's making millions of dollars. We don't see that because we don't highlight that. We don't put the spotlight on that. We put the spotlight on the celebrities, on the business leaders, on those that have succeeded, that have the spotlight. We actually have to put the spotlight in the shadows. So those shadows are the ones that we see and we can relate to because they live on our block, because we see them in the corner, we see them in the grocery stores. Those are the people that we know have succeeded and have made the millions also, and are the silent millionaires that go around and nobody knows who they are.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point, Michael. How do you envision this community helping Latinos build generational wealth? Besides bringing all of this knowledge and making sure that, of course, we can get these silent millionaires come into the group and share their knowledge. What other?
Look, I feel a great responsibility, and I call out the people that are my colleagues that have actually achieved what I've achieved. So I very proudly say that I'm a Latino millionaire because I actually fought for it. And I'm not embarrassed by it, and I'm proud of it. And now my responsibility is to create a lot more Latino millionaires with what I know and the roadmap that I went through. And so for me, it's my responsibility to make sure that that next generation is in, to encourage them, to mentor them, to allow them the space that I've actually fought for on my own. And so that space is a sacred space. You can't sort of say, oh, I made it, so I'm going to close the door because I'm fine. That's not the way that you can actually do this. That's not the way that you actually do impact. There is an opportunity here for the greatest group that is the highest contributor to the GDP, over 30%, Andre. This is an amazing number. Imagine if you actually unlocked the power of this group. Imagine if you actually gave them a roadmap to be millionaires or billionaires. Why not a billionaire? There's already a Latino billionaire, Jeff Bezos, and there's a Carlos Slim. There are Latino billionaires. They exist. It's not a unicorn. They exist. And if they can do it, then you can too. And I can too.
Everyone can in this group. Everyone has the possibility to do so. And so you mentioned something very interesting and something that I admire a lot. You mentioned how proud you are to be a Latino, right? And so I think nowadays, or maybe sometimes we see that people try to hide maybe some of their Latino because they want to appear something else. Maybe they think an opportunity will open up, right? So let me ask you this question, Michael. What kind of culture or environment do you want to protect within the group? Because I think being Latino, it's our superpower. I really think so, right?
Yes.
We're
Yes.
bilingual, right? We bring this knowledge from a whole different culture, especially to the United States. So again, what kind of culture or environment do you want to protect within the group?
Look, we're bilingual. We're the hardest workers. We really are this heart that doesn't stop, right? And so we don't know how to stop. And that's incredible. What we don't do is actually think large enough. We don't dream big. We actually have little, and a lot of it comes from our upbringing, right? Where we're saying, trabaja duro, haga dinero, pero no te
Mhm.
pase, and you sort of say, like, who do you think you are? ¿Quién crees que eres? Right? And those things get instilled in us. And you have to break that. You've got to break that chain. When you start looking and you say the security reports on an airplane that say if the oxygen masks go down, you put your own mask on first before you can help anybody else. Imagine if you were a Latino parent and you were traveling with a 3-year-old son or daughter. There's no Latino parent that would put the mask on themselves first. They would put it on their child, right?
Yeah,
But now stop and think, what happens if you have a lack of oxygen and you pass out? Have you done any favors to your child? You have to put your oxygen mask on first because you can't help anyone else unless you help yourself. That's
yes.
the source of everything. And it's not an embarrassment. You should be very proud to do that. Yes, I am looking after me first so that I can help a ton of other people, and it's a network effect. Then it happens. Then it happens where you're helping 10, 20, 50, thousands of people because you put your own mask on first. If you don't, you can't. You just can't. And that's a big part of how we need to start thinking differently than what this is. There is no shame in us doing what we want to do and working hard and getting to where there is no ceiling. There shouldn't be a ceiling. There shouldn't be a ceiling for the success that we can do. No te pase should never exist again in our language because it stops us. It stops us from succeeding. It stops us from helping others. It stops us from the very core of what we wanted to do in our upbringing.
That's right. And helping others, it's what this community is all about. There's
That's
something
right.
that we want to embody, and that is comunidad es poder. La comunidad junta es poder. Todo junto se puede lograr. And I think that's something you just shared, that's the importance about helping others, but helping yourself first because it allows you to do that.
We actually have a very tribal community within our Latino community. And whether you're from Colombia, whether you're from Cuba, Mexico, it doesn't matter. You actually go in and you have a clique of your people. And that's great, but it's a detriment when you do it to the exclusion of anyone else in our community. Because what we share is a language, what we share is a culture, what we share is beliefs, what we share and what unites us is much larger than what separates us. And what separates us is literally an accent and the way that we speak the language that we all share. And so when we need to sort of do this, we really need to shed that tribalism that we have all really sort of shared and almost inherently grew up with. And when we shed that, then that's when the power comes. That's when it's undeniable. Imagine again, I'm going back to these numbers. We represent, if we were a country, the 5th largest country by spending power. That is incredibly unique. There's
Yes.
there's almost 200 countries in the world. If we were number 5, imagine what that is. It's the idea that together we are so much stronger.
Together, comunidad es poder again, right?
Eso. It is.
That's what it is about. So as we have new members coming in, Michael, how do you want members to give as much as they're receiving this community?
Listen, I love this question. I want this community to be very interactive. I want this, and we're going to do a lot more with this community. We just kicked this off. So we want to do a lot more with this. We'll eventually be doing seminars. We'll be doing a lot more. We'll be bringing in other leaders. I'll be interviewing folks. I want to have this be a community where people start putting stuff into this network, sharing of yourselves, sharing of your own knowledge. Everyone has a story, and everyone's story is powerful because there's a lesson in everyone's story. And I would love for those members that are coming in here, that are getting inspired, that are getting aspirational sort of feelings that are coming out of this. I want them to contribute. I want them just to share what they're getting from this. Because when you do this, I want this to be super interactive. I want this community to be interactive. I want to deliver what people are seeking. The fact that, again, we had over 2,000 people join us in a very short period of time, that shows that there is an appetite for the information that we're providing, and we want to continue to do so.
And for the community as well, right? I feel like there's that
Of course.
join and be part of the community. And again, coming back to what I said before, like comunidad es poder, everybody wants to be able to be part of something and work
That's right.
collaboratively.
I think it's going to be our new hashtag, Andres.
Comunidad es poder, hashtag comunidad.
LMC.
I love that. So I want to give the viewers a little more of a vision for the future. As you mentioned, we have a lot more things going on. This just has started. What impact do you hope this circle has on members in 5 years?
Look, I've already have started creating a fund, which I haven't announced yet, to come in and do almost like a Shark Tank type of thing, where we will start funding different entrepreneurial ideas that come in. I have some friends that are interested in jumping in on that fund with me. This is something that we will be sneaking out in the next 3 to 6 months. I think would probably be where we have a healthy enough community around the world to really come in and bring those ideas in. There's a lot of talent out there, and somebody is sitting in Spain or in Bolivia. They may not have the resources to go and sort of grab some Series A tech money or angel investment money, but their technology could change the world.
Yes.
It could be the next thing that we all need. You know, you start sort of thinking, WhatsApp was founded in Estonia in Eastern Europe. And this was something that was a simple invention. I mean, it wasn't simple. I would have thought of it, but it was something that was not something that was a big lift, right? It doesn't have to be an original idea. It could be a better idea.
That's it.
And so as we start doing this, there is so much potential that we want to unlock. And so that's what I'm excited about.
Thing is that you're giving the platform to people to not play small, and also to, of course, claim the space of being Latinos, because this is going to be, I'm guessing, focused on the Latino community, right?
Correct.
So why do you think it's important for Latinos to claim their space in business and not play small?
Listen, we always, that's one of the questions that really just irritates me. This is the one that really sort of like, not you asking it, it's just the idea of people who do things small. And that's really what I want to change. This is the whole point of this. We go and we ask for a seat at the table. I'm saying you go and bring the table and you decide who's going to sit around yours. That is what I want to change. I want to change the outlook that we have. We're very subservient in many ways as a community. I'm making bold, overlying statements. Obviously, there are incredible leaders in our community as well. But as a community of people, of our millions of people, because of how we were raised, we're really subservient to others. And the idea is to change that, not to be arrogant, to change that with humility and grace, and be able to claim and stand in your own 2 feet and stand in your own truth of what you bring to whatever situation there is. I'm not even saying what you bring to the table, because I'm saying you bring your own table. You decide who's going to sit around your table. And that's what we're doing here. We've created our own table here. And all of you are sitting around this table. And this table is where you deserve to sit, because this table is going to allow you to go and do your table in whatever sector it is, whatever your dream is. We want to elevate the dream that you're dreaming, right? Are you dreaming big enough? Is where I want to start asking. Are you dreaming big enough? And if you're not, come here to this community, because this will show you what has already been achieved and what can be achieved as a community of Latinos that are looking at really elevating the entire community.
That's it. And I want to highlight this. You don't have to have a business right now to be part of this entrepreneurial Latino Millionaire Circle. You don't have to have any business going on. You just need to want to have las ganas, the willingness to be able to be the best version of yourself, right? And so, Michael, I've known you, as you mentioned, almost a decade, and I've had the honor to learn a lot from you, mindset, morning routines, and they have helped me so much. They have transformed my life. As you know, I come from a background in being a server. Now I've owned my own business. I have multiple endeavors, and I think part of it has been the mindset change that I had, and being able to surround myself with people like you who have this millionaire mindset. So I want to ask you now this question about mindset. What role do mindset and daily rituals play in shaping the success of a person?
It's everything. It's everything. I mean, it literally is. You create your own future reality. I'll say that again. You create your own future reality. You have to picture yourself in what that is 3 years from now and paint that picture. What house are you living in? What car are you driving? Who's around you? How much money are you making? Paint the picture as precisely as you can. Why? Because everything has energy in our own universe and in our own field. And the more that becomes reality to you, then that's when you step into it. I've proven it in my own life over and over and over again, and I continue to do so. And this is something that is an exercise which does not stop. I am not stopping. I don't know how to retire. I don't want to retire. It's sort of like, so this is, to me, what is the most important thing. And we'll do a lot of this as part of this group too. We'll do a lot of this mindset. We'll start talking about this. We'll bring other guests on. We'll talk about what that means. What does a future reality mean? That's probably like the first time someone's ever heard that before. So we will, and by the way, the answer is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the idea of you going in, creating your future reality, and living today as though it were already existing. Right? So I'm not telling you to go and get a Lambo and go into debt. I'm telling you to get the mindset of whatever it is that's going to pay for the Lambo in 2 years. Do that now, so that it attracts the lifestyle that you're going to step into in 2 years. And here's the other thing. Keep a journal. Because what's really interesting is you come in and you start, there it is, you start talking about the 10 things you're grateful for that morning. Because when you start the morning in gratitude, there's no way you can actually be angry. You just can't be angry. It doesn't work. It's a different frequency. And like the second part of it is your affirmations. Like what, and do one affirmation and write it down 20 times. So it should be 10 things that you're grateful for, and then 20 things, the one thing 20 times that you want to affirm. And so you keep doing this, and I've done it for decades. I still do it. And so my things change, right? Your goals change because you've gotten into different levels. As you're thinking about this, look, the idea is look, you're the embodiment of it. We met 10 years ago, literally, you were my server. And it was at a charity event. And you actually started talking to me, and we sort of hit it off. And, we started mentoring you. And so like, you have built several companies in the last decade, and I'm very proud of everything you've done.
Thank you, Michael. And so actually, there we go. You just reminded me of what I was going to say. Is that
Uh-oh,
becoming a millionaire doesn't start with the things that you do. It starts here in the mind. It starts with the habits
100%.
that you build. It starts with that shift in the mindset that anything you truly want, it's possible. So
It's also the idea that you've got to believe that you're worth it,
yes.
right? Are you worthy of being a millionaire? Because you've got to come you got to come to Jesus on that one. You've got to really come to terms on you saying, yeah, I deserve to be a millionaire. And it's not selfish. It's not selfish. It's you putting that mask on your face first before you can help anybody else. Now, if you want to be a multimillionaire so that you can live in the mansion and drive the car and go on vacations and that's it, then great, you've done it. But it's a false sort of like reality, because if you've only done it for yourself, then great. It's also fleeting because it doesn't. There's a reciprocity to money too. If you give it away and help others, it's actually you actually make more, and it's a really crazy law of wealth that
Yeah.
exists. And the more you give away, the more you actually make. And it's a crazy sort of thing, but it's something that you guys should try if you don't believe it. So
And
if it's the idea of becoming and achieving what you want to achieve, believing you can, but also knowing that once you do, there's a responsibility to it.
that's it. And there's a great book that I think I recommended to you a while ago. It's one of my favorites, The Go Giver. And I think
I love that book.
we're gonna do a PDF. We're gonna make that simplify. We're gonna make sure that people can learn about that book. We're gonna make sure we have the chapter overviews because I think it's such a powerful message in that book, right? It's about the power of giving, what you just said. The more you give, not only the wealthier you are, but also the more fulfilled you feel. And that's a type of richness it's impossible to buy, right?
Listen, why don't we do a contest? I'll buy 25 books and we'll give 25 books away.
All right, look at that. If you guys
Look
are
at that.
listening to this, make sure you comment down below, go giver and hashtag Comunidad es Poder.
I love it. Yeah.
All right, I
Let's
love
give some
that.
books away. Let's start getting mindset going.
Love that. So what's one non-negotiable value that every member should bring into the circle, Michael?
That's a great question. I think the desire to grow and to help others.
Love
That's
that.
it. I mean, it is. Look, if somebody's wanting this group and you're going to try to sell something to this group, I'm going to block you. It is not what this group is about. This group is about empowerment. This group is about lifting others up. This is not a community of people that you're going to sell stuff to. That's not what this is. We want to help people. If you want
Yes.
to help people from your heart, you are so welcome here. It's just going to be awesome. But don't sell your services. It's sort of like if you create a relationship with somebody as a DM and do that, great, more power to
Perfect.
you. But not on the page. This is not what this is about. This is about our community empowering each other and elevating one another up.
Next question. I was going to ask you to
Okay.
summarize the group's mission in one sentence, and that's what it
The,
is.
yeah, the group's mission is really to elevate one another and lift this community up so that we can change a community.
That's it. And so I have one last question, Michael.
Yeah.
You are always so passionate about legacy. And I remember
Mm.
in the previous podcast, the Global Luxury Real Estate Mastermind, that you used to ask this question to your guests, and it was about legacy. So let me ask you this question. What legacy do you hope this group leaves for the Latino community at large?
The the legacy of wealth, philanthropy, and changing a generation. Because when you achieve that, you can change the world quite literally.
Yeah, that's it. And again, Comunidad es Poder. We're stronger together.
And
And it's not just for us, it's for everyone that's coming after us, our kids, our grandkids.
imagine if you could change a generation, if you could change two generations, what would that feel like? I mean, I'm already seeing it in your face.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that is such a different dream. If you can change your grandchildren's lives, what would that feel like? Right? I mean, it's a powerful mission and it's one that's achievable.
That's it. Michael, thank you so much for your
Oh
time.
my
Thank
God.
you
Thank you.
for making the time to answer these questions, for being so open, for sharing your mission, your vision that you have with this group. And I'm hoping that anybody who's watching this and everybody who's watching this, first of all, take advantage of that giveaway of the 25 books.
Yeah.
Hashtag Comunidad es Poder. And they can get started not only on sharing what this group means for them, but also sharing with other people, sharing the knowledge that we have in this group, and invite them. The more people we have in here, the stronger we are, the stronger we get, and the stronger we have, um, a stronger voice that we get to build.
It's so true. It's so true. Invite people to this group. This group, my vision is to have, 1 million people in this group, because there's 300 million of us in the world. So, this is not a big number. So to have 1 million people in here, imagine the power that we would have as a voice and as a community if our only singular vision is to elevate one another, to
Yeah,
achieve your own dream, and give you the roadmap to do that.
that remember, together we're like the fifth strongest country financially.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
Fifth
insane.
strongest economy in the world if we were a country, and
Insane.
30% of the GDP in the United States. These
Go
were
for it.
these were numbers that just came out, by the way. These are not old numbers. These are numbers that just came out in July. So this is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Michael, thank you again so much. And
Andres, thank you, buddy.
again, we can create more content. People can get inspired because I think this was very inspiring
Absolutely.
so much for me. And I look forward to doing this again with you.
I
Thank
look
you.
forward to it too. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye.
Take care.